Alright boys, this is by far the most desired video that I didn't want to make. And I didn't want to make it because of its complexity and how much work it would take for me to show everything off, but I feel like the information is worth it. And we're going to be talking about trap tunnels. This video, I'm going to merge a couple of things, and that's basic funneling, which you're pretty much going to need for every single trap tunnel, and some of the most basic mini trap tunnels. I'm going to load up one of these missions. I don't think I'm actually going to run the mission, but I'll try to pick an easy one. So here we go. I'll just do a ride the lightning mission. I'll show you where the van spawns, and then I'll try to show you what to do when you start trapping. Okay, so this isn't part of the tutorial, but I spawned right next to a bacon patch where, you know, all of these drop bacon. And this is just a side note. I'm going to link my video below on how to get every item in the game, but it's incredibly important to always be looting and always be farming because traps are very expensive. Like in one of the builds I'm going to show you later on, or probably most of them, it's going to require 2 or more gas traps. Those are 14 fiber serves a piece, and they each cost, I think, 1 or 2 bacon. I actually completely forgot. They each cost 1 bacon, which might not sound like a lot, but when you're using as many gas traps as we used in some of the later missions here, always be sure to be looting. You're going to need to, and if you get into the habit, the sooner the better you get into the habit of that because, you know, traps aren't free. Also, in these little ponds right here, or these little pools, you can find duckies, which are fantastic for duct tape. Also, something you're going to need a lot of because of floor spikes. Ah, cool. So I found the van pretty early. Let me show you a couple of things. So, first off is actually a trick unique to Ride the Lightning. So I'm not actually going to do this mission, but I'm going to need, you know, I would be using brick if I was going to defend it. The best way that I have found to set up a defense for these is to just do a nice little L shape like this. And then a cone, because zombies can't get up cones. Jump up here, do that. And then these back walls you can do just like this. Put up the floors just like that. Get the roofs up on top, and then just nice little, just like that. And then you will completely surround the entire van in a nice protective case. So, the first thing you want to do when setting up a tunnel is where are the spawn points. So those purple areas on the map are exactly where the zombies are going to spawn. And this is again why I didn't want to make these videos, is because of the complexity and how I could probably talk forever on what to do in every single situation. And that's because every single time you set up a tunnel, oh crap, I took off my Mad Tidings damage perk for a different video that has probably already come out by now. Wow, that is a noticeable amount of damage. So you can see we have a natural barrier right here. These guys can't even follow me up. They don't use these tracks. And they're all being led up to this one spot. And this is pretty cool because this is kind of a natural funnel. I'm going to just, yeah. This is kind of a natural funnel. So I would wall it off just like so. And then build just like this. And then just in case anything comes around, you can do a wall and a ramp. If this was a wide open field, I would be setting it up similar to that. So for example, if there was a spawn point down here and they were coming up this ramp, that'd be a nice, you know, you can see they come up this ramp and this ramp if they were spawning all the way down here. So what I might want to do is set up a wall just like so that they only really have one path, and that's straight through the middle. And the reason you want to do this is, of course, just to restrict as many zombies through one small tunnel as you can, because a gas trap and floor spikes and all those different traps, they will hit just about everything inside of them. The only thing limited is a ceiling zapper, which I think only hits one enemy. So if you want to put those at the end and hit the big guys with it, you can. I'm going to be real with you. Ceiling zappers have just about never been useful to me. You can use them, but especially because they're elemental, I mean, I don't know, they're just not that good. I like using broadsides, gas traps, and floor spikes for almost all of my tunnels. Just about every tunnel I have has at least a gas trap. Unless it's on the edge of the map, where I'll use a wall launcher and shove them off the edge. And we might have to actually use that over here. So you can see that there's a another area just like this where they're definitely going to path up here. You could block this off and try to prevent them from coming up, but what I would suggest doing is, I'm not going to actually place these because I'm not going to do this mission, but you can figure I'll be putting wall launchers just like so, and that would push a lot of them straight off the map. But if you, let's see, if you put a gas trap right here, so if you gas it up and a wall launcher on the wall, they'll get hit by the gas and pushed off to the side and effectively forced to walk back up this slope and get hit by the gas again. So by simply using a wall launcher, you've doubled the strength of the gas trap. And then, you know, you can just do something like this to, again, funnel them and make sure that they come up here. So hopefully that's a good introduction to funneling. I was kind of hoping that I wouldn't get lucky like we did here, where, as you can see, a lot of the natural high ground, if you will, that's a little too simplified, but a lot of the natural slope of this land is forcing all the zombies to one pressure point, which is really nice. But that's, of course, this kind of wall is what we would want to do normally. So that's kind of just to reiterate why I did what I did over here. If this is a large open field, you would want to place these walls as far as you can go, about 1.5 tiles away from the actual spawn point. So if they were spawning right here and you saw the purple things just like this, kind of zigzagged all throughout here, you'd want to be about, you know, 1.5 tiles back. And that would ensure that they don't spawn within your walls and break up all your traps. And then you can just go ahead and set up a basic tunnel just like so. And with that being said, I'm going to move to my storm shield and actually place some traps down and show you guys just a whole bunch of different examples on different types of tunnels that you can make. Oh no, where's my cute hat? There we go. Alright boys, so we're actually in my Plankerton just because I really wanted to show a real example of, you know, just the broadest form of funneling. So, as always, you want to use the natural landscape to your advantage. Wall launchers, pushing them back off the cliff is a fantastic bit of advice. Something I do a lot is I use wall darts just to hit zombies coming in. And this is something I use in the war games, in the war game simulations. So, Plankerton, you know, they always spawn on the north side for the first round. And all of these spawn points will be just kind of out around here along the cliff. So I just have a huge wall on either side leading to a straight tunnel. And 100% of the zombies will walk through this. Save for lobbers, which will kind of stand here and shoot over this. But you can always just cover up with a very large roof. And that's what we call a lobber shield. So if the lobbers don't have any way to target something to shoot at, they just won't shoot. So you can put up all this wood and then just fill in the blanks with all these stairs and whatnot. And that'll actually stop them from shooting at your base. And that can work for any mission, you guys. I'm not talking about storm shields here. I'm talking about any mission at all. We did this in Fortnite, actually. We had a massive lobber shield. It was one of the most important things in our build. So why I'm here is to show you some of the most basic forms. This is definitely not limited to. There are infinite different ways that you can set up traps, but I'm going to show you my personal favorites and what I do. So a common way to do it is just floor spikes and gas traps. That'll do for just about any mission forever. That's the first thing that I learned how to use, and that's gas traps because they are the most powerful trap in the game. I would like legitimately argue that they might be the best weapon in the game. Like, I think you shooting your gun is always going to be better in some certain circumstances, but it's fully automatic. It hits infinite zombies until it runs out of, like, it'll hit as many zombies that are under it, and then it's got a durability that will almost always last throughout a mission. And I'm so happy to talk about the broadside, which is one of the new traps that they added. If you want to go all in, you can do 3 rows of this will kill just about anything. I only go 4 rows in like the 128 4 players. This is all very dependent on your guys' power level, by the way. Broadsides are incredibly powerful. They hit like a truck. I put crit rating crit damage because what happens is it shoots the cannonballs against the wall and it bounces back and forth. I don't have a video of it. I have a stream clip that I might be able to show you where I killed a mini boss with just like 4 of these, and it was like a 118 power level mini boss. If I have the clip on Twitch, I'll show it to you. No, it's not a Twitch clip. Damn, it was timestamped in one of my streams. If somebody can comment it below, thank you. But it's a clip that I've been trying to get again. If we ever get a trap vulnerable mini boss in a high level mission, I am going to show you guys just how powerful these broadsides can be. But part of why they're so powerful, or part of them being so powerful, leads me to suggest that you might not need them. So something that I do, you might not need 2 rows of them. So something I do quite often is I will build broadsides on one side and then wall lights, which, depending on who you ask, might actually be more effective because the wall lights freeze them just long enough to get hit by the gas one more time. So if the wall lights trigger in their maximum effectiveness, you've basically got 6 gas traps in here, and the broadsides have a long time to reload and bounce back and forth, and it makes them very, very effective. It's never going to be more damage than just 2 broadsides. I mean, that'll take down like an elemental smasher. Like, it's a very powerful thing, but it is a great way to go. So, you know, this is a 3 deep tunnel. 2 deep is pretty much all you guys should need for most missions. If you can funnel it just like this, 2 rows of gas and then 2 spikes and then, you know, whatever, wall lights, broadsides alternating. You might even want to put some wall dynamos if you're into that. Not a bad option. So I'm going to set up another one right over here just to demonstrate another way to go about things. So this is going to be 2 deep, and this is something I've seen a lot. This might have different names. I don't really care what YouTuber you found it from. A friend showed me this. So I think this is just a strategy players have been using for a very long time. And that is using these edited floors to have wall launchers push back. So something I've done quite a bit is you can put wall lights or broadsides. I don't think broadsides are the best way to go. So wall lights and wall launchers, just pushing them back through them, freezing them in place, and then just a nice little gas trap on top for the main damage. That will stop just about anything. And in the harder level missions, I've in the past done something like so, where 2 broadsides will pretty much clean up anything. Spikes, and then of course gas traps. Gas traps always. You can use sealing electric field at like outside the farm. So what I've done is on outside the tunnel, in water missions, I'll just come out here and spam sealing electric field just because they're very effective against water zombies, but they are not better than a gas trap. If you're gonna spec into any trap right away, use gas. They're just very, very powerful. And in very hard missions where they're making it through, something like this will clean up just about anything. I would go as far as to say, so long as this tunnel is not getting blown up and you don't have people destroying it, this will kill off everything but like mini bosses and smashers. And again, you don't need 3 deep. This is just an extension idea. And hey, if you wanted to, you could actually just extend it like so and then put yet another wall launcher in here. That could work as well. There's nothing stopping you. Like I said, you guys, there are infinite different tunnels. Don't see this as the end all be all. I'm trying to inform you guys how these traps work and how to use them. A common question I get a lot, that's redundant, is why I have blue floor spikes. And the simple answer is they're cheaper. We only use floor spikes to slow enemies down. Yes, you can take... Do I even have legendary floor spikes? I don't. You can take legendary floor spikes and make them crit damage, crit rating, and try to max out the damage they do. Yeah, you might do a little bit of extra damage, but 2 duct tape per floor spike is a lot more expensive than 1. I've only got 790 duct tape, which might seem like a lot, but I use a ton of floor spikes. I can use up to 20 to 40 of these in a really hard mission. Normally it's about a dozen, maybe 20 tops, but like I don't get a crap ton of duct tape. So these being as cheap as possible, I used to be low on duct tape. When I was using golden floor spikes, I used to be low all the time, but then I started using blue ones, and duct tape's never been a problem. So that one's preference, but I use blue because they're cheaper. And that is, I think, just about all I wanted to cover. The zigzag design as opposed to normal floor spikes, these are pretty much the 2 that I use constantly. Broadsides are just one of the most, I think they are the most powerful trap just under the gas trap. Gas trap goes great with broadside, and these will cover just about every single mission. I don't personally use wall dynamo anymore simply because of the broadside. Like the wall dynamo, it has its moments, but it's single shot, long reload, and it's only good against water zombies. Whereas the broadside, yeah, okay, it's physical, so it's weak to everything, but it hits so hard, it bounces back so many times. I'll have one zombie get hit like 5 to 7 times from a single cannonball. If that thing crits in there, it's just gonna die. Like it's just you're gonna kill the zombie, like no problem. and then I've got it healing the attached building. So I can go through every individual trap if you guys want. And this is one of those series where I want you guys to guide me. Like, tell me what you're curious about. Tell me what traps you want to know about. Tell me what I should cover. I would love to do individual videos covering, you know, every single trap in the game. Although there are a lot of situations like floor spikes where there's not a lot to talk about, you guys. I mean, if you've made it this far in the video, you don't need any more information on floor spikes. They slow them down so they spend more time under your gas traps. Like, what more do you want me to tell you? So, yeah, I think that just about covers this for an introductory video. There are a couple more things that you can do. You can use a wall launcher to push them back in, and or, well, you can do both, but you can use like a wall darts to push them to shoot throughout the tunnel. And this is sort of like a teaser into a part 2. And a part 2 would be like a no longer straight tunnels, meaning they came out of the closet and nope, that's a gay joke. No. So the idea is in a complex tunnel, you would have a situation like this where they get, instead of wall darts, they'd be pushed back through the tunnel. Or you'd have a situation like this where it's just a zigzag. So this is the defense that they want to get to, but they'll get pushed back through the tunnel by this wall launcher, effectively doubling the effectiveness of the traps above. So that gets very complicated very quickly. If you guys want more information, let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this covered a lot of the basics for you guys. I'm sorry if I talked way longer than I should have, but a lot of this I just need to show you. Yeah, I've been getting asked on stream, and a lot of people don't know the basics of funneling, and I think that is the most important thing in traps, because if you can funnel them to a central point, then you can pretty much do whatever you want. So thank you guys for watching, and have a nice day. And if you really enjoyed this trap guide tunnel funnel dealio, you should become a patron. These guys support my channel for $5 or more a month, and I say thank you. I've got a Minecraft patron server, which some of them have access to, some of them didn't want it for that, and so they don't. But if that's something that's interesting to you, you can try it out.